Dan's in the chat. The immensely talented Dan Roth is in the chat. Second.
Okay, give me 1 second. I'm gonna wash my hands.
Oh, you no, absolutely not. No, it's too late.
You don't want me to wash my hands?
No,
you don't want me to wash my hands?
It's too late. We're about to count down. Are you ready?
Oh, okay.
3, 2, 1, go. Now, if you want to go wash your hands while I start the show, now you can do it. Now that you're recording.
It's still a little groggy coming in for you, but
because the music's on, Joe. Shut up.
Okay.
The music's about to go off, and I'm going to open the show. Fuck it. We'll do it live.
Do it live.
Fuck it. Fucking thing sucks. I wrote this jingle. That's why we can talk over it. Guys, that's right. Welcome back to Jacob V Weekly. We want to start, as always, by reminding you to reach out to Caddyshack of New Hamel, Illinois. My dear friends over at the Caddyshack, rescuing hundreds upon approaching thousands of cats, small family operation. Caddyshack, New Hamel, Illinois. Check them out on Facebook. I think is the best place still, though they do have their own website, and we're working on content all the time to kind of grow their mission and their message. Next, the only way to support this show is on patreon.com/JacobV. You get exclusive content drops every week. It's $1 a week, and you get all kinds of goodies from us, new exclusive content, old archival sort of gems you can't find anywhere else, all kinds of stuff. Bonus episodes of this show. I did 4 Siesta Key Pods when I was there. So sometimes we'll have something that's more informal or doesn't really have a home, so whatever. We're also testing a new feature. If you're watching us live right now or you're catching up on video later, we've updated the phone number to the show so that we can take text messages live while we're on the air. It's just a, which I know, cutting edge stuff, but just something we've been asked about before. So we wanted to open our hearts to that as an option. So if you're watching this live, you want to participate, you can text the number on the screen at any point, 314-626-4208. If we're not live, you can still text that number, and we'll get it. And if it's content you want to contribute to a future episode of the show, we will use it thusly. Just checking everything here. Joe, it's kind of crazy. Everything's up and running after this fiasco we've been through.
We've been working on this for 2.5 hours.
And it's really great because I can see you, I can hear you, I can see me. We're actually live streaming, which the past couple episodes we have not done because it just seems easier just to focus on one detail. But I am really enjoying this. I think I'm going to open my goddamn show notes, though, in a different device because I like babysitting the stream over here. No Antics is a band that I'm in. We have a new full-length album that we are working on finishing. We also have 6 hot and ready singles of unadulterated femme grime live on the Spotify and wherever you get your music digitally. Lots and lots of stuff to check out there. We also just played an amazing show the day before New Year's Eve with Blonde Guru and Middle Class Fashion at the Off-Broadway, and we have farmed all of the content from that. Joe, I got all of the audio as stems so I can mix it and shit. We got video. We got the very talented Matt Close of Odd Soul in the Sound made us some video content here. It's really, really good. We got another... I'm getting notifications about new followers, which is great. I love to see that. Welcome aboard. Also, yes, there she is. Amber. Shout out, baby girl. We also got... I'm in a band called Blinded by Stereo that was just in Dayton, Ohio, and then back here at the old Rock House here in St. Louis, promoting and selling copies of my first ever vinyl LP record, the first one I've ever participated in. No, well, I mastered some content for a 7-inch for an artist one time, but I didn't perform on it. I played all the keyboards. Both these bands are really great, and they have tons of stuff to offer you. So that's, everyone knows me as a music dude. That's mostly what I'm doing musically right now. But Joe and I have some new stuff in the works, so stay tuned. Nothing really to announce yet, but things will be taking shape. Joe, at any point, if you wanted to just validate that I even exist. I mean, I couldn't get you to shut up instead of plugging your own shit in earlier, and now you're stonewalling me.
We really, this has really been, this took,
it's great. I think it's an accomplishment. The fact that it's even happening, people are interacting. We're getting text messages on the show line. People are following we did rebuild our Facebook presence after, you remember when I got robbed by those Nigerians?
Yeah, you've fixed up since then. You've really,
so we have a Jacob V page that covers things that I do individually, musically, and also anything related to the podcast. So we didn't have a podcast-specific Facebook page, and my old music page went down with my old Facebook because I got robbed by some Nigerians, which is not a euphemism. That's what the phone number pinged. There was a big scandal.
You still haven't revealed to me how that happened.
I'm not entirely sure how it happened, but I think it's related to a former student of mine was blowing up that Facebook account, trying to get me to participate in some kind of, it sounded like a weird pyramid scheme or something. And I think it may be related to that because it all started at the same time. But what happened is they took my Facebook hostage, and they were using it to try to sell puppies. But I figured out there were actually no puppies. It was just they wanted more people to interact with them on Facebook so they could steal more Facebook accounts. And somehow they also stole $1,100 out of my bank account using Zelle, which is a proprietary bank instant transfer app thing that I had never otherwise used before that. So
can't believe they got that far.
It was really weird.
Bizarre.
Mm-hmm. I did get all new bank accounts.
Did you ever get that money back? Did you file a dispute? Did you get that money back?
Yeah, but everybody that I ever talked to at U.S. Bank that looked at the shit going on, it was very obvious to them that it was some kind of a fraudulent, hacky kind of business going on because the name that they were sending themselves money to wasn't even a recognizable name. It was 5 different names, but with numbers in it and shit. And And so they were always like, yeah, that's obviously something going on or whatever. And then, but the investigation or whatever, it was inconclusive as to, because what they did is they think they used my Facebook information to compromise my email, or it could have started with the email because it was a Yahoo email, which had been included in a breach of some kind. This Facebook is from 2005. This was my original Facebook account. You know what I mean? And, but they used that data to hack all kinds of stuff, actually. So I think they used that email address to get into the Zelle to send themselves my money.
Right on. Oh, yeah. I mean, maybe they deserved the money for
Right
working
on.
so hard to get it.
Well, that's the thing. The fact that I really want to write a movie. We talked about this on the show, did we not?
No.
I really want to write a movie called The Nigerian for Liam Neeson.
Oh, yeah, we did talk about that.
Yeah, like the whole movie is like a guy working really hard from home, though. He's at home with his family and his kids, and you can tell he's working on something on his computer really, really hard. And then, meanwhile, somebody's messing up Liam Neeson's life by stealing his identity. And then he tracks him down, and just you have these cut scenes of this beautiful scene at home with this guy's playing with his kids, and he's checking his email, and he's drinking tea, and it's a lovely, sunlit morning, and then you cut to Liam Neeson figuring out who is stealing my identity, and then he kicks in the door, and that's when the two scenes merge, and Liam Neeson beats the shit out of this guy for stealing his Facebook. Well, Joe left. I specifically said don't fucking get off camera at any point for any reason, and he's gone. So we'll keep going. I did officially, since our last episode, like I said I would, start Jacob V's favorite songs on Spotify for January of 2023. Let's just look. Let's see what's in there. I was listening to some of this tonight at Trivia at the Blue Wood. This coming week, if you want to see me in person, Wednesday and Thursday of next week, I'll be at Blue Wood Brewing, 6 o'clock both nights, bingo and trivia, respectively. That's January 11th and 12th, I believe. God, I can't believe that's already coming up. So
Start with the Trico stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we're going to get there, Joe. Don't scream at me. Later in the month, January 20th, No Antics will be opening up a big show at the Duck Room for Crystal Lady's annual birthday show. Put that down on your calendars. Somebody said to me they want a calendar of gigs. That was probably our friend Za, who's been on the show before. Gig calendar. So, Joe, you got to get to work on a gig calendar for me.
Gig calendar.
I need a calendar for my gigs. I was supposed to start this at my friend Ken's memorial. I remember taking a bunch of email addresses of people that wanted to get on my mailing list that I don't have. So, I don't know. Joe, you're right. Let's go right to the source here. Biggest news happening locally this week seems to be that Tony Patrico is off of the Rizzuto show after allegations of inappropriate DMs. That's the exact headline from the RFT. I don't expect you to know who all those people are, but we have like a really misogynistic morning shock jock radio show here that has been going on for a long, long time in some form. It used to be the Woody and Rizzuto show. There was this guy Woody who moved to Los Angeles, and he's on the radio still with some sidekick he took with him, and he's equally kind of a dirtbaggy like these guys. But Tony Patrico has left the station amid ongoing allegations that he messaged fans with sexually suggestive comments. The reason this was so shocking to us is because it totally makes sense. Because you know what I mean? Because part of this show, part of their ongoing content.
The show is on the point, right?
It's on the point, which is like a alt rock radio. It's kind of it's aging a little bit. It's not as cool as it once was, but and there's definitely a scene of people that kind of. I've gone to their Mardi Gras party. It's lovely. At bottomless absolute cocktails, brother. But they have this recurring segment on their show called Real or Fake, and it's exactly what it sounds like. They have listeners send in pictures of their own breasts to determine if they're real or fake, and they vote on them throughout the week, and they get scored on whether they're correct or not, and it's this whole ongoing bracket. So the reason I mentioned that is not just is that kind of questionable and problematic to be doing in 2023, but this is kind of the context in which Tony was using his privilege of managing these interactions for the show to also kind of
I'm looking through these messages.
are you looking at them? How would you describe the tone of the messages? This is the guy from the radio show texting female fans of the show.
Well, from the articles, like, they're making it sound like, oh yeah, what is sleaze, what a blah blah blah. But like, I'm looking through these and I'm like, this is like classic Tinder hookup like moves here. But and
some background. I know that he got divorced a couple of years ago. He was married and has 2 small kids. And then a couple of years ago, he got divorced. And this was right after he lost a whole bunch of weight because he had like gastric bypass or something. And so his, so it seems like something that was happening also while he was married, and nobody's really been able to determine, because this has been going on for like 15 years. Because that's the thing. The article here says that he's been a member of the show since 2014, but that's actually not entirely the start there. That's probably when he became a full-time cast member. But at that time, that's when they broke off and became the Rizzuto Show, and Woody moved to LA with that other broad, and which is fine. I'm glad she can vote. And so that's when that show kind of started as that show. Patrico's been around a lot longer than that as a helper and runner or whatever on the former show, and there's been people I've been talking to on Facebook and stuff that are just like, yeah, he's been doing this for like 15 years. So I love that. I love that that's all happening. It's kind of also my reaction was, oh, so this is something we could have outed in 2017 or 2018 when we were doing this kind of thing. It's like we didn't get Whole Foods until just a couple years ago, and now we're just now getting around to canceling radio, like skeevy
now
radio.
St. Louis
guys.
has its own cancel. Yeah, it's like an advertisement.
It's it's going to be on Jungle Law. Anyway,
right.
I'm just checking the show messages here. I got so much we need like what we need is somebody who could do some things around here.
Wait, are you getting a lot of messages right now?
No, I was just making sure I hadn't missed any because my phone had gone to sleep. I plugged it back in, so it won't do that. Really good.
It's what's weird is like it seems pretty generally like, and this is also like St. Louis. This is St. Louis's first big cancel and like
a minute for. I mean, it's you get some of them. You know who I was just listening to the other day is that you remember Jamie Allman?
Like the Allman Brothers?
No. Later than that, but. When I lived in Dogtown, there was some guy on the radio in the morning on one of the conservative talk stations.
Oh, I think I know this, yes.
And he obviously was drunk one night and tweeted something about how he was going to shove a poker in David Hogg's ass. David Hogg was one of the Parkland kids who went on a TV tour saying, hey, we need gun control. And then
also just
Jamie Allman's
St.
a big,
Louis,
like
comment.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Oh, yeah. He was definitely red-faced drunk down the street at Stan's, probably, at the cop bar.
Like a Busch Light in hand.
Yeah, that bar is crazy, by the way. Anyway, he got fired for that, for drunk tweeting that, because that's inappropriate, because David Hogg was at the time a minor.
Mm-hmm.
So, but he's back on the air. And he was a big deal, so that was a big problem. He couldn't work for a long time, and then he had a TV show and everything. Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, I don't know. Probably just I don't know. That seems like a weird cancel nowadays. Man, it's just like it just feels like so like moment, like it's momentary. It's time and place. But I'm looking through these messages because they posted on Twitter. You can find like
so there's a Twitter page called Hell No Patrico, I think, that is.
Oh, that's great.
Well,
Yeah,
and
like a
so it's like
character.
some guy started it to kind of consolidate and amplify this pattern of women that are coming forward with these screenshots of these text messages.
How long ago did this just come out? This Hell No Patrico character.
It started late last month, I think, probably after they were already on their holiday break for the show.
Okay, so they were kind of like they were warming up to this whole thing. Yeah,
Well, I
don't know,
think
like,
the reason that the announcement came when it did is because that was going to be the first, that next day when the points announcement just said Tony Patrico is no longer affiliated. The show will resume as scheduled at 6 a.m. tomorrow. And that was like yesterday or a couple of days ago. I think that was their first episode back live for the year. And so I think they probably were working on it and talking about it and trying to figure it out. And they had to make a decision about whether to let him come back from the holiday break.
yeah,
Is probably why it happened when it did, is what it looks like to me.
yeah.
Damn, a hot ass Team Riz member today. Yeah, it's kind of like in the situation where you're going to be trusting enough to send pictures of your boobs to your favorite radio show. The last thing you need is that guy commenting a whole bunch on how he likes
Well, and he
the
makes
photo
an
you sent him.
effort. He like makes an effort to like warm up the conversation, and I'm going to be biased here because I like to be very open about this exact thing happened to me. No, I'm saying it. It's my choice.
Oh God!
Come on.
Okay, as long as you say
was.
my name is Joe and this is my choice.
This is Joseph, my choice, and
Joe
I was
choice.
for my job for like exactly this kind of activity. And I think what like frustrates me about it, and this isn't just like in defensiveness of like my instance, like, but I mean, this guy was obviously, there must have been like 9 or 10 girls here, but like, I think there really is something to like when you create a company culture or whatever that like endorses like, first of all, like kind of like sexual aggressions and
Well,
like,
that's the
or
thing.
in general violence, or like kind of like or I think any job in which it's like you're kind of fighting for your life in any way, it's like, or not fighting for your life, but just like high stress environments where like the authority at the job doesn't really have your back on anything. Like you're going to create these types of like environments, but this was obviously instigated just by the culture of the company. It's like hard rock dicks radio.
But also, if you
dicks,
listen to this show has always been kind of off-putting if you're sensitive to any kind of language
Right.
that they use. Like they have a segment called "Bitch Be Trippin'" about
Right.
and like they have like ongoing like inside jokes on the show about like women can't drive, and
Right.
it's like it's a very misogynistic energy anyway. And like
I
you
just think
said, he's not Matt Lauer. He's not locking people in an office. He's already
Yeah.
texting fans of the show about pictures of their own breasts or whatever. So the stage was set for miscarriage here, for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And also, he's not like a super like well-educated, like cultured, sensitive dude. I mean, he gets it. He's on the radio at 5 a.m. every day, and then he's at hockey games, and he's like a stereotypical like radio guy. Like I'm glad it wasn't worse than it's been. It's
Yeah.
It's like but apparently it was like kind of an open secret for a long time.
I just think the move on the point to like fire him like seems just like really like like the problem I
well,
have
it's
with it is
weird.
that, yes,
it's like what that was in this
culturally-
RFT article.
Huh?
Yeah, culturally you wouldn't expect them to be so aggressive.
No, culturally I would expect them to be so aggressive, but I think it's so weak of the organizations that are condoning and kind of like appreciating all of this other activity, and then some of it gets like a little bit real, and it's kind of like Marilyn Manson. Like everybody was freaking out that he was, he's really a violent guy. It's like, have you listened to any of his music? Have you like? So many of the fans were hoping for him to actually be like that. Like that's the dream.
Yeah.
But like it's so weak. Because
Yeah.
it makes sense that they would fire him. Because
Well,
that's
and
what
it's
we
like,
do now.
what do you even
we
say?
immediately fire them once any
Because it
bad
wasn't
attention.
his show, so it's like, what do you even say if you're a guy on that show? And then one of them just died a couple years ago, or maybe he
Yeah.
died this year, but he got
Well,
sick
and
a
like
couple
how
years
do you
ago.
say how do you make a response like we don't condone?
Well,
those
because it's
practices?"
also
Absolutely
they couldn't get
do.
into
Like,
any
what are you talking
specifics at
about?
all and on the air,
Yeah.
and so they were just said it's a personal issue, and the last couple of days have been really, really hard. But there's nothing really we can specify or comment
Yeah,
on.
it was obviously just like whatever. Like,
Well, and
whoever
I would
owns
totally
the point.
believe that the hosts of the show didn't really see it coming if it was something that HR was dealing with over the holiday break.
Well,
You know
and
what I
who
mean?
knows? And who knows what the other hosts are doing? This is probably just what's been caught, but like because he has so many people he's messaged, it's probably like
Yeah, he's the one that manages that, though. I mean, he's definitely.
oh, here we go. Here we go. Little text in. It was actually his employees to the point where he was harassing, not just wanting them to send pictures. Here we go. So here's the take. It's not necessarily that it was the fans. It was the employees that were trying to move up. You know, so he used his authority in the place of work. I think that probably is not great. And
He was
I
like
agree. I
sexting
think-
employees of the place too.
Yeah, so what we're seeing is people who
That's
are
a no-no,
coming forward
girl.
and like,
That's a no,
Yeah.
girl. Go ahead.
thank you. I just got this texted in from a fan.
A fan of the point.
Well, it's actually going to be our future producer here.
Oh, well, I hope they know something about pushing buttons, because it's a lot of buttons up in this bitch today. Let me tell you, girl. It's that's right. You could text us live at 314-626-4208, or even if it's not live, who cares? Yeah,
This is great. There's a
I'd
little
love
bit
to talk
more
about the
from-
story I was talking about whenever you're done
There's a little
looking at
bit
your
more
phone.
from our source here.
Loving it.
Can you hear me, Jake?
I can hear you.
These women were afraid to come forward because they were under, like, because when you're working as an intern at the show and you want to go into show business, it's not necessarily going to look great to like try to out one of your big selling people. You know, the podcast was obviously really big, probably because it was so raunchy. It got a lot of ears, but it's the fact that they were nervous to come forward. Like, I think that's actually a really good point. I don't think I was in no authority. at
Well,
my
right. So
former job.
yeah.
And I think that
Very different. That was the thing that was immediately obvious to me about this being so problematic, was that it's like he's supposed to be the kind of like the safe, trustworthy contact that the fans are using to participate in what is totally on its own a very problematic segment, the real or fake thing where they're collecting photos. And I don't think no, they do share these. You can also, they post them anonymously with the consent, of course, but that's how you consent, is just by participating. But every listener of the show can go look at all of these cleavage pics that they get from fans, and to do anything other than communicate as an official member of the show with that contact point is inappropriate. And that's what he was doing, was like, oh, I don't want you to think I'm looking for show content, I just want to see that ass. I'm like, Jesus, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like
I think it's important that like
absolute miscarriage of
we
authority.
speak to the men of St. Louis that like, you know, because this was a pretty common practice. Like, I mean, especially in like dating and hookup culture, like it's so, you know,
What are you talking about?
like when I was on Tinder before I was with my
Fiance?
wonderful fiance,
Your lovely fiance?
I felt like I would like lose the attention of people when I would talk to them if I wouldn't like it didn't feel forced. It just felt like if I were to ask about, you know, basic life questions, it felt like people wouldn't respond and like it was just very boring. So like a lot of this hookup culture like kind of has trained or groomed men to like become like hypersexual in their immediate.
Well, that's
like-
the overall effect of certain aspects of social media, for sure, is that there's a lot of impulsive, aggressive, problematic speech that happens in a way that is super direct and immediate, and also very easy to just fly out there, you know, with or without any level of pre-thought. You know what I'm saying? So yes, I mean, it's just like what they talk about with younger people having this problem developing their own romantic relationships when they, you know, start watching pornography so young, and how crazy pornography on the internet can be. And we don't have to talk about that, but that's definitely kind of a similar thing, that it's like, well, if you're really looking to elicit immediate reaction from somebody in a dating app, small talk may not be the best way to appeal to their more impulsive nature. So it would be better to just throw out something that you think is going to ignite impulsivity in them to get the response that you want, as opposed to saying, hey, where'd you go to school? What do you do?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Also, super ballsy move for him to use his Facebook, like with the picture of him and his wife on it.
Oh yeah,
You know,
yeah,
like,
and his wife, and then his
that's
girlfriend.
wild.
And, yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not, again, like,
Yeah, that's
I
fucking
think this
interesting,
is something
dude.
that I think this is something that I think I wish the point would take a little bit of responsibility, like, for.
Well, I
first
hope
of
they
all-
cancel that segment. Is that segment still
Right.
happening? I can look this up.
Well, and like, and I always knew this would happen. Like, if the point actually, like, you know, listening to the point, that if they actually were put on the spot to, like, really be questioned about any of this stuff, you know that they would just cave and, like, you know, totally, not, you know, they'd be like, we're not like that. It's like, you absolutely are. And so it's just so irritating that, like, you know.
And I wonder how. I mean, he was all over their imaging and stuff too. Like you're listening to the Rizzuto show, like that stuff.
Yeah.
Real or fake is still happening. This is on the Rizzuto show website right now.
But
Week
this
4,
is
real or
something
fake
that
results.
This is something that our source says. She said that a big problem is for those who didn't come forward have to live with the guilt of not outing him. So, like, those who do out him get, like, the respect of saying, oh, I put a stop to this, where those who didn't, it can be, you know, this response, what we're doing right now, you and me, Jake, it can be an act of shaming them for not coming forward.
Yeah, that's hard.
And so, like, that's a really good point. But I think it's also, like, not everybody can win here. Like, I think it is your responsibility, if something made you uncomfortable, to come forward. I think I'm really firm about that. We can talk about ifs all day, but I think it's really important that, like, there's enough support nowadays
Now,
that
I think
to
it's
come
new, though.
forward,
I
you will
really
be met
think
with an
I really think that support has really increased and been a lot more obvious in the past 5 or 6 years. I really don't think 10 years ago even that victims felt like they could express themselves the same way they may feel like they can now. And there's a lot of people that it's still tragically underreported, a lot of this stuff. I mean, you know, we act like we get so surprised, but it's happening right now somewhere that we just haven't heard about yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? God forbid. Which
Yeah.
I'm not
I just
for.
think there's enough. Huh?
Which I'm not for. You know what I did today? I
What?
checked myself on something. I was going to show a picture of a friend of mine to a lady that he works with that I thought was funny, but I felt like it was inappropriate to do, so I stopped myself and I just described it instead.
Oh, well, it was
Yeah.
very thoughtful of you.
Oh
Jake.
my
Good for
God!
you.
I'm a fucking angel from heaven. I deserve a
You should pull
goddamn.
up that. You should pull up that picture right now so we can all see.
It's really good. I'll
what you
send
were
it to you
talking about.
later. No, it's fine. But it wasn't even like a totally inappropriate picture. It was just like it was my friend went through a P90X phase in college, and so I have a really great mirror selfie that he sent one of our group chats of just how ripped he was at the time, like mid P90X. And so I was like, oh my God, this is so funny. This is his picture when he calls me. But I stopped myself and I said, you know what? I'm not going to show her this picture because she didn't say, hey, can I see a photo of my colleague's abdomen without, you know, I mean, it was unsolicited. So I said, you know what? I'm going to keep it to me and I'm going to put it in his casket at his funeral when he returns to glory. That's a thing. Have you ever heard of people putting things in people's caskets at their open casket funeral?
Yeah, like, you know,
Raisinets.
that's weird. I've never seen that before.
Oh my God. I think so. We've talked about this on the show before, but I'm just thinking about it again, that I think it's really something specific to this one branch of my family. Because every time I've ever seen it, it's been at funerals that my Aunt Pat is involved in, you know, setting up. And shout out to Aunt Pat. She put a Diet Coke in my cousin Amy's casket.
Oh, wow. Mm-hmm. That's really sweet.
And
but,
then I remember
you know,
when her
did it
dad died,
spill
he had
everywhere,
Raisinets. No. It was a closed can of Diet Coke.
Right on.
Yeah, it's just her little Egyptian touch, I think, to she wants them to have their favorite thing as they enter the ground.
That's fun.
Yep.
That's fun.
Yep, this has
Good.
been great.
Well, that's
Joe,
great. Yeah. Moving on.
Yeah, can you give me some background on this guy with the face tattoo?
Yeah. Hold on. I'm losing it. Your system has run out of application memory.
Who?
Me. So let me shift to a different thing. So
Well-
you're talking about Gabrielle Union, is that what we're going to talk about?
No, we're talking about the guy with the face tattoo. Colombian influencer regrets his messy face tattoo just weeks after the World Cup.
You're telling me I sent you this?
You sent me that. I would never give a shit about that.
I don't know. I must have been like super hammered. Sending this
Well,
to you.
read what's written there while I go grab a La Croix from the fridge behind me.
Okay. All right. So we're regretting a tattoo. Let me see here. Let's see the tattoo. I guess I got to see this. I must have been super hammered when I messaged this to Jake. That's so funny. I've never done that before. Where I just can't remember. Let's pull this up. Who were I don't even know. I didn't even follow soccer. I don't even know the two teams that were. Okay, yeah. The Colombian influencer regrets his messy face tattoo just weeks. It says Messi, so it's not just like we're describing. It actually says Messi on his forehead, Messi. That's very strange. I guess Messi must have been a player's last name. Let me see. Messi tattoo. Regrets. No regrets. Argentina. Okay. After Argentina FIFA World Cup, he regrets it now. Lionel Messi, right? Lionel Messi. Man, I would never do that. I know a guy who got Jack White's entire face tattooed on his arm, and then Jack White Jack White walked into the store. Like, you remember Killer Vintage down on Delmar before they closed it? There's there used to be
Killer
two
Vintage
locations.
is closed?
Yeah, Killer Vintage in Delmar. Remember, it used to be right there it used to be connected to the pageant, and it used to be
No, I
connected
don't
to the
remember
pageant. And Jack White, some guy was in there with like this huge face tattoo of Jack White, and Jack White walked in and he just was like frozen the whole time, and then when he turned, it revealed that he had Jack White's face on his arm and didn't say a thing the whole time. He was just totally chill. It was so funny. That's a story by Jimmy Griffin, if Jimmy Griffin's listening.
Oh, that's weird. I know him.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, don't get somebody else's face tattooed on your body.
Yeah, that's not a good topic.
Just at all.
I don't know. Yeah, he regretted it.
So you're saying you were drunk in the woods and you sent me a screenshot of this and you
Check this out.
You don't even care. Good. But this is more interesting. We've started doing this thing where we're such good journalists that we don't even type shit anymore. We're just posting screenshots from Instagram into our show prep. This one is Gabrielle Union says she felt comfortable cheating in her first marriage because she paid all the bills. This was all over my Instagram feed this week, and so I thought it was a good point of debate. I don't think
Gabrielle Union is a actress.
Yeah, everyone knows who Gabrielle Union is. She was in
actress.
She was in Bring It On.
Oh, really?
She was one of the cheerleaders in Bring It On, and they were
she like
great.
a main cheerleader?
Yeah, she was also Martin Lawrence's sister in Bad Boys 2.
She was in my favorite movie, Bad Boys 2.
Bad Boys 2.
She's my girlfriend.
Yeah, she's the DEA agent. Remember when she had that
favorite movie?
Remember she had that white pantsuit on?
Yeah, that's it's a classic look.
Is this her first
2000s.
husband in this picture? It must be.
Yes.
He's kind of a big guy. She's beautiful.
Yeah, he's an NFL player.
He was in the NFL?
This is from Fox, the most reliable news source. Like my dad before me, whoever has the most gets to do whatever the hell they want is what I thought, Union said. The Bring It On star also said that she wished she had more guilt about her cheating. That is so did she had it's really funny. I think we forget that in like the real world, Like, you know how you show up to things like John Mulaney has that bit about he talks about Mick Jagger.
I
at
just listened to
SNL.
that on TikTok today. I swear to God.
What?
That exact John Mulaney bit where Mick Jagger will
Yeah.
just say Diet Coke and people bring him Diet Coke.
Well, he was talking about how he had to write a song with Mick Jagger, and and like that was a surreal experience because he like sat and experienced what it was like writing a song with Mick Jagger, and he's like, what rhymes with? He just like, you're like, this is how the Rolling Stones songs are made, just with rhyming, and it's like all, it doesn't matter. But I think we forget that there are some celebrities who have like huge PR teams who cover everything they say, and people who probably make even less money than Gabrielle Union, who have big PR teams working for them, like saying, I don't know if you should word this tweet this way.
And this also
But then
sounds
there are
like
people
something.
like Gabrielle.
This sounds like something she's talking about too, like almost like that Red Table Talk shit, where they like, it's like, let's go on a podcast and just talk mad shit about how we're terrible to be married to.
Well, you have to remember that there's no standards. So there are also people like Gabrielle Union who have no PR team and are literally just celebrities who are just walking around and making their own decisions before running it by anybody and saying like crazy, like saying just total Fox News material like this. Like, well, you see, there you have it. Now, if you're a man, you make money, you can cheat. There you go. Like,
Yeah, but it also is challenging the gender thing with.
Right.
And here's the thing: if they were in an agreed, ethical, poly relationship, you know what I mean, a polyamorous union, or whatever. I mean, I would never choose to live like that because I don't get enough time with my wife as it is, and I know she feels the same way. That's mostly what we talk about, is how to spend more quality time together. You could see my wife at trivia next week at Bluewood, for example. She's going to be keeping score. But
That is so
for
great.
for me in my life, that kind of poly thing is not for me. It's not something I've ever been interested in. It's not even something I really feel like I have the time or the need for. But if that was a mutual choice that they made together, that's totally their freedom. It doesn't sound like that. When you call it cheating, it sounds like it wasn't within the agreed confines. And this also gets really crazy when.
So was she making most of the money before? So he was bringing in what, just like 1 million as an NFL star, and because she was bringing,
or
in
he could have
two,
been
she's the
retired.
breadwinner?
I mean, because she's younger than him, and you retire younger from the NFL than you do from Hollywood.
Okay, so whoever has the most. So because
She
she's
said
richer-
her first marriage because she paid all the bills.
I actually want to unpack this situation.
This is why I screenshotted it. This is from
the reason why, in my opinion, why most men wouldn't be smart to agree with this is because you have two non-homekeeping people working.
Well, that's the other thing too, that we can't
celebrity careers.
Yeah, we cannot separate this from neither one of these people were washing the dishes themselves.
Exactly. And
Neither
so she
one
was
of these
coming
people
home-
were mowing the lawn.
Right. So she was coming home to somebody who wasn't doing the laundry and, saw him making only 1 million when she was making 2 and was like, no, I get to cheat. It's like, well, maybe if he was doing more around the house and doing his part to make up that extra million, and I think that's why that wouldn't be very smart for a man who makes a lot of money. Like if his wife's like taking care of his family and like feeding everybody and she isn't working, that is like that's like, if you really log that time, the job never ends. And I think even me, who's like a partial woman hater, I'm just kidding.
Well,
Even
and
me,
if
who's,
he
like,
was
cynical
cheating,
about-
if she couldn't prove that he wasn't cheating, you know what I mean? Maybe it was a do your own thing that she didn't, and maybe she's expressing that she regrets maybe not thinking more about that choice earlier. But yeah, I do agree that I do have more questions than answers, especially because women of this age right now, a lot of them are attracted to polyamory. How old is Gabrielle Union? She's got to be 40, right? By now, she's been famous my whole goddamn life. When did Bring It On come out? Gab. Feel free to text the show at 314-626-4208 if you know anything about Gabrielle Union, dysfunctional marriage.
Yeah, we'll take like
Oh my God, Gabrielle
messages.
Union. She's 50.
What?
Oh hell, she's an angel.
What was she at, playing a high schooler at 30?
That's what. Well, absolutely.
Okay, here we go. We have a comment here.
What?
We have it's entitlement, old school style thinking.
Yeah.
She's married to Dwayne Wade. I bet it's this comment says I bet it's okay for him to cheat. Now,
Yeah,
I
she
think
she
that's,
said she
like,
felt entitled to infidelity.
right. And
But-
you know what? I think the other thing we're not unpacking is there may be a deeper disagreement that might have happened that we're not privy to, where she may have caught him doing something a little but can't prove it.
That's what I was
And-
saying. That's what I was.
and
When you
is-
weren't listening to
did
me,
you
that's
say
what I
that
was saying.
earlier?
I was
actually
absolutely
only
saying
hear
exactly
myself
that.
through this headphone set. So I read your lips, Jake.
Wow. But here's the thing. I have always loved her, and I think she's talented and beautiful, and I think she was an important example of the kind of visibility we need more of in Hollywood. You know what I mean? We didn't have.
I've always said that.
Yeah, I've always said that too. And so
Right.
here's the thing. Nothing against her. And she's also choosing to talk about this, which I would probably advise against if she asked me as her friend, which I am. But
Agreed.
but
Yeah,
also,
you guys
I
go way
mean,
back.
they're no longer married, it doesn't look like. And it's obviously not the mindset I would choose to live my life with, but I don't know. I'd love to hear I'd love to hear what her ex-husband thinks.
I'd love to hear what your ex-husband thinks, but more
Has he
importantly,
said
I'd love to
anything?
hear what Andrew Tate has to say.
Hold on. Before we get has the ex-husband said anything? I don't know his name.
Okay, I don't think there was a response. Let me see. It doesn't say in the.
What's
I feel
his
like that
name,
would be
though?
a huge update if there was a response.
Can you just Google his name? My hair's
was
doing
the,
this thing where it's kind of irritating me, and so I touch
What
it
was
too
the?
much.
What was the former husband's name?
I need you to find out his name and then Google that name in the news so we can see if he has a
We got
comment.
Dwayne Wade.
Dwayne
Wade from 2014.
Dwayne
Chris
Wade.
Howard was his former husband.
Whose former husband?
Her former husband.
Oh, but no, I'm talking about her first husband. Yeah, I want to know if he said anything. Is he dead? I hope he's not dead. I really don't like.
during marriage with Chris Howard. Yeah. No, I don't think he had a.
But who's
response.
Chris Howard?
Who is Chris Howard? I don't know who he is. Let's see.
Well, let's find out then, Joe. Let's do it together in
American
front of all of the
football.
world.
She's got a football.
Yeah, she likes a football guy. I would. Oh my God, are you kidding? If I was her, it would be exclusively NFL starters. Starters.
I only date starters. That's so
Yeah.
funny. That's
And
such
you
a
know
bold
what?
thing to
And
say.
you know what? If he's got a Super Bowl ring, I'll sign a prenup.
Oh man,
You're not listening to me.
I'm listening to you.
You don't give a fuck. Who is Chris Howard, and has he said anything about his ex-wife talking
He
about
didn't
how
say
she
anything. There was no response. That would be a huge. That would be a
You
huge
didn't look.
deal if he responded. I
didn't
didn't look. I didn't like. I said Chris Howard responds to Gabrielle Union, and there was nothing.
Chris Howard, American football, 75. He is retired. Oh, he's handsome. He's probably not a public dude.
No. Probably enjoying his retirement, not having to watch gameplay for 6 hours a day.
Yeah.
And
Well,
wake up
he's-
and
I mean, he's lucky.
condition.
He's lucky if he can even recognize where he is, because he could have CTE.
That's what I think is so funny about like the football, like the sports, like marrying women, like the people who marry like pro athletes. I'm like, dude, like I don't even know how they met, because like
Well, that is
I don't
curious.
even
Like,
trust
how do you
any of
meet a
those
pro
women,
athlete?
because you have to marry for the money, because they're never around. Do you understand how much work? It's so much more work than it probably. Pro athletes probably put in more work to their careers as, you know,
But also,
millionaires
but
than
also,
any millionaire.
But also, let me just walk you through the psychology of this for a little bit. If I am some kind of a person, single person, eligible person, and I fall in love with a professional athlete, I probably fall in love in part with aspects of their life or their personality that make them
We're talking about a woman who thinks
professionally
it's okay to cheat if she makes more than her husband.
That's not who I'm talking about.
who's
I'm
a
talking
pro
about
athlete.
people who marry pro athletes, because I do think that's something you sign up for because you want to build a life with somebody
Right.
and support that aspect of them as a person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you end up in a romance with somebody that's that career driven and that successful, the last thing you want to do is derail that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's part of what you like. They would obviously change as a person if they lost all of that or gave it all up in some way.
Hold on.
It is interesting.
Hold on. We might have a joiner. On the show. We'll see.
I don't even know what that means. I don't even know how that would work.
How do we know how that would
The
work?
the instructions are text us. I don't know how we would talk to somebody.
We could phone it in to the
No.
microphone. What do you think?
Yeah, if you want to put them on speakerphone and hold it up to your microphone, and then you have to own that on your spirit that you did that. That's
Oh,
I like
they
that.
They say I don't want to do it. I have stage fright. That
Yeah.
sounds like I'm about
Tell
to
them to text us anything they want, but I'd rather not try to phone.
Okay.
We're not going to do any more tech stuff today, and we're certainly not
Okay.
going to do it live.
Oh,
You know how
thank
big
God.
I am in Switzerland? No Antics is so hot in Switzerland right now, I may fly us over just to play in Switzerland.
I always joke about that. Like, those people are so lit for listening to lame Midwestern bands.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know how they do it. Or maybe
How they
it's
get
like
into that stuff.
maybe Switzerland's got a server farm and people are using frog tunnel so they can. You know what I mean?
That's
But
kind of what it feels like.
unless Webster
Anyway, moving on.
maybe Webster University has a campus there, because I think half of us in this band went there, because that's just like that's what you do is like a queer creative from the suburbs around here. You go to Webster University, School of the Nuns originally.
That's actually that's they all go to Webster and they all figure out they didn't need to.
That's exactly the case, because nothing that I
Or
use.
they lose all of their talent trying to practice jazz.
Well, I'm glad I didn't go that route, because I
I want
don't.
to talk about.
I'm not really a jazz guy.
There's one topic we need to talk about before we move on to global topics.
We're in no hurry.
I'm pulling it up here so you can see. Come on.
You know what? We're doing really good. I'm getting 60 FPS. I'm only using 23% of my CPU, dog.
We measure our success on the show based on how much bandwidth we absorb.
My bandwidth is good, dog. And over here, my performance, you wouldn't even know. I'm not even tapping it on the audio machine, G. See,
All right, Jake, check this out.
this
Check
is such
check
a
out this.
underrated, powerful
This is
machine
from
of
The
nature.
Guardian.
You know I don't like the Brits.
Missouri is kind of famous for its death penalty. It's so famous that they shot Gone Girl in Missouri because Missouri still has the death penalty, and the death penalty was a really big deal to boomers. Boomers had really weird interests. I suppose.
Well,
you could
they
say
were
that
also the
millennials
first
also have
generation
really
of
weird
serial
values.
killers.
Well, you could say that, but we have more values that seem to matter to greater populations of people. But boomers really, really cared about concerts being free. They thought music should be free, which is
Yeah, that was weird. That's
know.
what made Peter Green crazy.
it's they just had weird they were fighting a war that didn't matter. That was the war that was created for gun manufacturers. But they were we should see concerts for free, and they didn't have YouTube, so I don't blame them.
They like their guns, though. They're the first generation of serial killers because they were all poisoned by lead as children. It was pumped into
That's
the
exactly
air.
true.
And they would
That's
put their
exactly true.
mouth on the exhaust pipe and go straight to Jesus.
That's exactly true.
And so of course they were upset about the death penalty because most of them were at risk of being put to death for their serial murders.
Yeah, right.
Of course, I mean,
Right.
that makes
What?
perfect sense to me. The first
Yeah.
generation of serial killers is going to have a
Yeah.
disproportionate interest in the death penalty because they're trying not to get the chair.
The same way I'm concerned about cancel culture.
Because
I'm
here's the
"Hey,
thing.
hold on.
You know what? And I've been
That
playing
seems harsh.
I've been playing a lot of Red Dead Redemption 2, and you really have to toe the line because they track your karma throughout your excursion. I'm 49% in. And into the game, and also my karma's kind of floating. I wish it was
What's
more.
their morality? Where does the morality? Like, if you help facilitate.
Well, this
like,
is the thing. I do
like
get a lot of good
Westworld
points.
abortions, do
Like
they
if I
lose your
don't know
karma?
about all that. See, I still haven't watched Westworld. You watch a lot of HBO. Are you shilling for HBO?
I like all the nude.
The nudity. You know
I'm
what?
just kidding. I'm
That's
I'm a
no,
good
but
man.
that's always been the thing. HBO has always been the premium content, so premium that there's no commercials except for other stuff that's going to happen on HBO, and it only happens in between broadcasts, and then also the just the content. You know, you flash people a little nipple in 2008, and everyone goes crazy.
That's true.
They
That's
love
true.
a little areola on their prime time. You know what
That's
I mean?
true.
And
That's true.
really problematic though, because when you would fall asleep watching a movie channel back in the day, if somebody walked in and then the porn had come on, then they thought you were watching the porn. So you have to use
Yeah.
the TV's sleep timer. You have to plan ahead. You got to look in the guide and say, listen, if I'm going to fall asleep watching Titan AE on Showtime, I got to make sure this TV is going to turn off after I'm asleep, but before the movie's over, so that, you know, so that Lord of the G String isn't on when Grandma walks in at 4 a.m.
Lord of the G-string.
That's a real one. That was on Cinemax, brother. That's a real.
Lord
The
of the
soundtrack to Lord. Will you look this up?
Lord of the
Who composed the score, the original score to Lord of the G String? Can you look that up
That's
for
so
me?
funny.
Can you look
Lord
that up
of the
verbatim?
Did
Because
you
I
just
want to
make
say
that up, Jake?
it was probably open source stuff that they probably licensed.
Oh, here we go. Oh, of course.
I would
Jake,
not
this
make any of
is
this up. Who
wonderful.
did the original score for? Because, for example, this information is always interesting because the original score for the film Good Burger was done by Stuart Copeland of The Police.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Who was he? The guitar player?
No, he was the drummer in The Police.
Ooh.
And he got into composing, and he did the original score to the movie Good Burger for Nickelodeon. Obviously, in The Police's off season. Now, who did the original score for Lord of the G String, Joe?
We got production distributor. You know, they're not really always on Showtime. Yeah, Showtime like took over all the stuff that HBO couldn't, like when HBO.
So you're not
became
going to answer my
popular.
question?
They don't have the
So-
Josh Robinson.
Okay, so who is that? What else did he do?
Let's look up Josh Robinson. He didn't have a link connected to his name, so
Oh,
I'm thinking this was a big break for him.
You think this was like his first thing?
Josh Robinson, composer. He probably has some really excellent music that he never got to put out.
Yeah, he's probably got a banger.
Me as a musician, yeah. I mean, okay. So I did the soundtrack for Lord of the G Strings.
Oh, that's on his
It's
credits?
kind of like a Lord of the Rings thing, but it's
yeah, I'm familiar.
yeah, but it's inspired by J.R.R. Tolkien. You know, there are a lot of the composer Lord of the G Strings.
How do you spell his name?
And why aren't like Howard Shore level composers trying to do like shitty movies like this? Because that would be really cool.
Josh
Actor and writer.
Robinson.
He was an actor and writer known for Blood of the Muse, The Sexy Sixth Sense. He did all of they're all cover porn movies.
They're all
He
porn
died in
spoofs.
2018.
He's dead?
No, he didn't die in 2018. You know what happened is when porn stars want to end their career and move on, they fake a death. It's pretty normal in the porn world to fake a death. And they always sometimes comedically they'll make it very, very dramatic. So if you look up a porn star that you can't find the videos for anymore, you'll find that it'll be like that she died blowing her brains out with a shotgun with her director side by side. They used one shotgun and blew both of their brains out. It'll be something like that, and you'll be like, "Oh, this is a joke. This is fake," because they want to end their porn career. But he probably wanted to move on, so he,
How did he
had
die?
44 films or something. What? Fantastic.
How did he die?
He didn't die, I'm guessing.
But how did...
There's no They don't just tell you that, Jake.
But how do I
He's
find?
an unknown
Can you put?
director?
How do I? Do you have a picture of him?
No.
Can you get one?
I'm gonna find how many. Josh Robinson is the most normal name ever created.
Well, no, that's the thing. Josh, I was just searching Josh Robinson music, and there's Josh Robinson for every instrument, age, and region of the continent.
Jake, there's no way you're gonna find a face to match that name.
Is that a challenge? I got a guy.
Yeah,
I got a guy that's good at this stuff.
Seriously, get your Nigerian friend.
Yeah, let me call the Nigerian. We got to find the composer from Lord of the
So I know
G
you
String.
stole my Facebook, but I want you to do a little jump.
Hey, remember me? No, you can
Free.
keep the Facebook. It's fine. No, it's fine. Really, it's okay. But I need you to find Josh Robinson. He was the composer on Lord of the G String. Can you get the song? Can you find
wanna
the
hear-
theme that he
Oh, that's
composed for
great.
that movie,
Good-
that
great
film,
idea. Of
that
course.
cinema piece?
Lord of the G Strings soundtrack. They probably didn't. I'm gonna guess it didn't go. I'm gonna guess they didn't make a hard copy of it.
I bet you someone.
Jake, there's no way you can find that. There's no way you can find printed porn soundtracks.
I don't want you to order it on cassette, brother. I just want to hear a second of it.
All right, I'm pulling it up on. I'm gonna search on Spotify, but that's the end of it.
No,
This
no,
is a
no.
horrible segment.
Oh, you were awful.
Jake,
This is
we
a
gotta-
horrible segment. How dare you?
I'm not gonna search Lord of the G Strings on my
Lord
YouTube. It's gonna
of
fuck up
the
my
G-
algorithm.
I didn't say YouTube. Theme song.
It's getting to that point where I'm jinking and I've got to get my nose spray. Hold on.
Oh. I bet you it's in the trailer. Is there a trailer? 2003. That's a long time ago.
Did you find it,
I haven't found the song, no.
Jake? Can we move on?
2003 is a long time ago.
Can we move on
From what?
from this? I want to talk about the death penalty.
It's got an IMDb. I bet there's a trailer on the IMDb. Oh, you could buy it on Blu-ray, I bet, on Amazon.
Oh my God! It's been found.
What?
Jake, our source.
What?
It's coming up. It's popping up in the Discord right now.
What
oh
is
my
it?
God, you're in control of this. We found the soundtrack. Holy shit! We have a new producer for the show, but they're not going to be named.
In the Discord?
Jake, this is incredible. We have a. Hold on.
This is, but I
Hold the
like.
phone.
You know what I really like is that I don't know who this person is, and I don't want to know because it's like a deep throat situation. You know what I mean?
That's true. That's true.
It's like top secret. We have an anonymous source.
We have an anonymous producer.
We have an
Jake, look at the Discord.
Discord here. Oh my God, is this the song though?
Oh my God.
No. How could she possibly?
I mean,
Just listen to it.
who posted this? Why? Why?
Joe, because this is a part of American culture. This is a part of our history as a nation. No.
You know
Dude,
what
and
really
this is
pisses
by
me off?
motherfucking... Is this by Josh
It's
Robinson?
It's not bad.
So Misty Monday, Darian Gain, and AJ Khan are the ladies. This is supposed to be the cover of the DVD. This is the music, dog. This is the
Can't believe
soundtrack.
This has been found.
This is the
posted this on
soundtrack. You
YouTube?
said it couldn't be done.
Yeah, I can't.
This is the theme song by
Are you
Josh
playing it on
Robinson
the podcast.
from
Jake,
Lord of
you
the
need to
G
play it on the
String.
podcast. People need to be able to hear it. We need to awaken Josh Robinson from the dead because I know you're still fucking alive out there, Josh. Josh. I know he's alive. He's got some great work here.
We know.
This is good.
Are you okay? So here's what's crazy is because you were saying I was crazy, right?
Yeah.
You said that.
Yeah.
You were saying I was crazy for
yeah.
talking about this, but
That's true.
but then not only did we find the song, but now you're insinuating that the composer who we could barely find, who's listed as deceased in 2018, you're saying that he's Still alive secretly, like Tupac and Elvis?
Yes, absolutely. They are.
Oh, you
also,
can't hear
I
the music?
guarantee it. Huh?
Can you hear the music that I'm listening to? Because I know it's going into the stream because I'm watching the mixer here.
I've listened to it. I'm listening to it right now.
It's really good.
It's not. It's. I mean, like, you've got some great albums, like the White Album, and you've got like Abbey Road and Jimi Hendrix Experience.
But this isn't that.
This is something that could be contributed. Like, this is like Aphex Twin, but better.
I do love Aphex Twin.
But this is better.
I'm going to rip this audio so I can drop it in the audio episode because I'm sure it'll be fine 50 minutes in for us to include a clip of... What if this is the... Can we get the license for this to be the new theme for the show? Lion's Choice will pay for that.
That's... I mean, it is definitely... We definitely won't be sued to play this.
No, this is open, I think. Only 1,900 views.
Get an email from some production company like...
Lord of the G-String Soundtrack 4.
Jewel.
I wonder why it says 4. I wonder what else they got here. Oh, okay. So this channel seems to be all porn soundtracks, which makes sense.
Oh.
Now we can move on.
No.
Yeah, we can move on.
Not.
But wow, I just can't believe it. That is such an accomplishment in broadcast history. This is why we needed the phone number, Joe.
I mean, I just can't believe that. Like, I can't believe that somebody was like...
That somebody would even bother to look. See, this is why... This is not... We couldn't have done this in the last 3 episodes. I'm glad you made us go live, because this could only happen live. You know what I mean?
That's true.
That,
do it live!
So I was bringing up the... Because I can bring it home, I bet. But we were talking about how HBO was the premium content because you could see a little nudity, but you had to be careful because those premium movie channels would show dirty movies late into the evening, early wee hours of the morning, and so you had to make sure that you didn't leave the movie on and then go to sleep, and then somebody walks in and grandma thinks you're watching Lord of the G-String, which is a real film from Showtime, made in 2003. Original score composed by Josh Robinson, who allegedly was killed in 2018. We have no idea how. But that was 15 years after that movie. So he could have been an older guy. It could have been natural causes. But Joe thinks he's still alive.
I mean, he's definitely still alive. There's no doubt in my mind.
We got to find him.
So I've just been sent some clips from the film, and it's
good
interesting.
Stuff. It's softcore, isn't it?
I'm sending it to you right now, Jim.
I don't know that I want you to send me clips of it.
No, this is completely fair game. This is completely okay for live TV.
Is it just the dialogue?
Yeah, this is as harmless as Rico Patrico Trico.
No. That's not harmless though. Is the thing is like there's a level of.
He wasn't.
I got the soundtrack twice.
Okay, hold on. Hold the phone. Hold the phone.
I like it.
Lord of the G-String Celebration.
What are they having, like a party, like a Game of Thrones feast?
What the fuck? Come on. Hello. Hold on. No, it's not a feast. It's some sort of...
a bacchanal?
Please update.
Please what update?
Go. All right, now I've sent it. This is the true... This is it.
See, this is what I'm saying. Your country-ass Wi-Fi is a part of the problem here.
Look at this.
You want me to go to the Discord here?
This episode's going to be useless without video.
No. I can't show this video, even if it's... Oh, no.
They're clearly in...
This looks like Veggie Tales.
They're in, like, some public...
This is on YouTube. VHS snippet. Oh, so this was available on VHS at one point. Lord of the G-Strings Celebration VHS snip. So this was on... Probably Betamax too.
I love the
wow.
I love the like transition scene with the CGI.
The CGI landscape. It looked like Veggie Tales.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was sorry, that's what you said.
Wow. Can you? We'll put both those clips in the description for the show episode.
Okay. Well, yeah, we'll have the.
I have those in the Discord. I'll put them in the Podbean description.
And we have actually a third seat open on the podcast. We have a producer seat open, but we also have a third seat open reserved specifically for, what's his name, Richie Patricos?
Tony Patrico is his name.
Tony Patrico.
And I don't really
He
want to
can
talk to
be
him.
on the show.
You know what? He came into Guitar Center to buy some lights when I worked there, and he was just not
You're
interested in talking to any of us at all.
Well, that's not. I mean, beggars can't be choosers. We don't know what he's interested in right now. This is a successful.
I know exactly what
podcast.
he's interested in, and it cost him his job. I hope they pull that segment.
No, it's all. I mean, they're.
Speaking of pulling segments, Romanian authorities seize Andrew Tate's car collection as investigation continues. Is he still in the box?
Is he still what?
Is he still locked up? He was supposed to be locked up for 30 days while this investigation took place, and they seized all of his cars and his weird like Broflex tweet to Greta Thunberg about his Bugattis and shit is what got him in this pinch in the first place.
So what did he say about Greta?
Okay, so I don't remember who started it, but I saw that he had tweeted at Greta Thunberg that he had this many Bugattis and this many McLarens and this many sports cars and shit, and something about how he loved burning fossil fuels or something. And then she totally burned him in a reply about like his email address being like Tiny Dick Energy or something. And it was funny.
No, she didn't.
Yeah. But then he clapped back at her in a video. And in the video, there's a pizza box. And that pizza box is to a Romanian pizza place. And so the Romanian authorities use that as evidence to confirm that he was indeed back in the country and he's wanted for something there. And so they said, "Oh, we can move on him and his home address because we can confirm that he's there."
Okay. So you're saying that wait, how did they get the image again?
He started a beef with a child on Twitter. And then
Yeah.
she roasted him and said he had small dick energy. And then he clapped back in a video where he's in his robe, wearing smoking a cigar, and talking to the camera. And in the shot on the desk or something, you can see a pizza box. And that pizza box.
Saying
shut up. Shut up.
He was already wanted.
Shut up. Yeah, and the pizza box confirmed his location. He was already wanted for questioning or something in this accusation of sex trafficking, which I'm sure is related to his former cam girl business, which I'm sure was problematic and a nightmare. God forbid. I hope it wasn't, but it sounds like it probably could have been. And so the Romanian authorities have now seized all of his cars, which was what he was bragging about on Twitter to Greta Thunberg. Thunberg.
Which is so irritating. So yeah, the Guardian is talking about. Yeah, the Guardian is like so happy. That's what is so irritating is like how giddy like all of the news outlets are that he's getting like messed up and like and
you
also
invite
just
that
shows
energy, and you
the
know what,
strong
he did this to
union
himself.
of-
If he's really like the sinister, successful dude that he acts like he is when he goes on podcasts and stuff, he should have stayed private about it, because the Romanian
right.
authorities are not going to be happy when you go on an American platform and say, "Oh yeah, I live in Romania because I can pay people off and do whatever I want." Like, that's not. And he, tells everybody everything he does and the names of all of his shit. And I'm like, you don't have to be both guys. You know what I mean? You could be a quiet, successful dude, but obviously
You seen
not.
this, Jake?
What? Have I
You
seen what?
my screen?
I only have so many screens.
Can I not screen share? Let me screen share one more time.
I don't know why. I don't know.
Look
why.
at this.
Watch stream. Let me try it. There he is. Andrew Tate detained in Romania over rape and human trafficking case. Oh, it's that serious.
So, okay, so, oh my God!
Tell me
I had
about
no
it.
idea it was this bad.
Oh, it's nuts. Apparently, I haven't. Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't think it included rape.
Yeah, so they've been under investigation since April, alongside two Romanian nationals. This is from the BBC. Okay, so they maintain their right to silence. So I guess they have similar laws about that. like America does.
Yeah.
This four
Oh, they
suspects
arrested his
appear to have
brother,
created
too?
an organized crime group with the purpose of recruiting and housing and exploiting women by forcing them to create pornographic content meant to be seen on specialized website for a cost. Okay, so here's my problem with this. You know, like if you put out a job description and somebody comes to the interview, you can pretty much assume that's going to be the requirement for the job to do that thing. So like I'm forced constantly to wait tables at a restaurant. So if I chose,
Well, it's obviously not the same. You're joking, right? You
this
want me
is
to
very similar.
You want me to
actually,
get mad
because
at you?
I am
No,
as serious as
I think there's probably, according to him, there's dozens upon dozens of women who did this job safely and successfully. I think there's probably also, though, people who performed that way under duress. I'm sure that happened. Whether they were forcibly kidnapped and brought there or whatever, I certainly hope that wasn't the case. But even if they came there consensually, I'm sure some of them were coerced into doing some things that they didn't want to do,
here's
which
what
is not
could
okay.
happen. I could see this happening. I could see them putting out. This is in their defense. I could see them putting out the help wanted, stuff.
Yeah.
And then somebody trying to make a little bit of money off of these women, bringing them some slaves, and telling them to act cool, just act like you're taking the job, and then they're going to cash app you your income, and you're going to give me some of that to me. I could see that happen. I don't care about this man at all. But
No, well, it
Yeah.
just seems so dumb that if any of this is true at all, the fact that he would.
he just said, hey, he had such a public.
That's
But,
the
like,
thing.
fighters
He's
are
asking
dumb.
for
They're
attention.
bashed
he's
in the head
he's
so
inviting
much.
confrontation, and then he's like trying to be America's sweetheart and be like, "Well, I was a kickboxing champion, and my dad was a chess master, and people need me, and I know what men need to succeed, and people should listen to me. And by the way, I own a casino in Romania, and I can do whatever I want there." Like that seems like you're inviting unwanted attention.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Like I don't understand. Like, but then again, like fighters and athletes, just like OJ, get hit in the head so many times. You just can't put anything past them. They do stuff like that where they, like, yeah, I'm cool.
I gotta go
I'm
see what
murdering
OJ's
somebody.
doing
I'm
on
cool,
Twitter.
Like they just, like my dad was a football player for KU, and first string, and he talks about constantly about how, well, there's an ongoing lawsuit that I think he could have been a part of but chose not to be, and because he hated all of us for wanting any sort of like inheritance. And but he talks about so many of his friends that just lost their minds, and I think you just. Well, and even Chuck Palahniuk, the guy who wrote Fight Club, talks about blunt force trauma and just like what that does to the human mind. And I think that, so that could be part of it, is like part of his final, like masculine move is that he's going to do all these horrible things. He's going to rape and hire slaves in his house as cam girls. Andrew Tate is, and he's also going to be super outspoken about men's rights activist things.
OJ's still on Twitter talking to his phone.
Solve that.
It's my favorite. You want to talk about some CTE, baby?
He's still on Twitter talking through his phone.
Talking
in
to his
jail.
phone. He's saying, "Well, hey, everybody, it's OJ."
Do they have phone chargers in there?
He's not in jail.
Romanian prison? Where is he?
Oh, I'm talking about OJ Simpson, dog.
Oh, yeah, that's funny.
That's where I went when you were, making your point, which I do appreciate a great deal. And, you're so thoughtful and enthusiastic, and I love you so much.
Yeah. This reminds me of how the inner city public schools use children, use the education of children to assure their paychecks. They use the vulnerability of.
Well, in a
need
shrinking
for
area, like
education
it's
to
like
assure their
it gets
income.
very cutthroat for that enrollment. You know what I mean? Like we were talking about last week. You know what I mean? That like you need a certain number of kids to make the federal funding such that a campus is viable. You know what I mean? And when thousands of people are moving out of your district every year to go to school in the suburbs, you know, that becomes a very competitive business. And then the city schools were actually unaccredited for a long time. So, so that's a part of the thing. Your audio's not on. You did something. You muted yourself.
Did they just pay to get the accreditation back? Did the state just be like, "Here, have some money"? And then
I don't know exactly what that
back?
process was like, but it's kind of funny. They still advertise fully accredited, which is just hilarious.
So
Be like,
well,
hey,
you know,
it'll count.
Yeah, and so like your school was
What school?
removing the high school when you were asked to leave.
Well, I mean, there were just tons of us that just didn't have contracts because they were closing grades 3 through 8 on that campus, and so they didn't need the head count for that many staff.
So it was
anymore.
just until 8th grade, that school.
That campus was K through 8 while I was there.
Right, and now it's like K through 5.
Now it's K through 2. It's an early childhood center, they call it.
So it reached its full potential. It's like final form Pokemon style, where it just is a daycare now.
Yeah, and it's only like 6 classrooms or something. It's small.
Wow.
And then everyone who was on that campus 3 through 8 just get bused to the other side of the neighborhood to the.
Well, let's think
other
about
campus.
this. Let's think about this statistically. Let's think about this. So now they have. So if 20% of the staff can be
Certified.
uncertified teachers, and you only have what? You have pre-K, K, first and second. If you only have 4 grades, think about how many of those people can be teachers. It's just great.
It's like it's like a fifth of them. A fifth of them are going to be uncertified. So, or if there's even going to be 10 of them, I mean, there's going to be.
They can teach them how to read. If they know how to read, they have the job. That's crazy.
It's it's nuts. It's like that there.
So they really just dumbed it down to the education like threshold of the like potential workers.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, and they usually can't fill all those jobs there anyway. I mean, they'll be lucky to get enough adults to make the cut, much less certified adults. I mean, it's it's a really tragic situation. I mean, it's why I abandoned my career entirely. I think I'm going to get certified in music, though. I'm going to take that test next month. I got to take it before I go deaf because of the interval.
Hamlin.
What?
Who's Hamlin?
What?
Hamlin. Is Hamlin the trans woman that is a...
What are you talking
No,
about? You
what's
have to finish
Hamlin?
that sentence. Please be clear about what you're saying.
So we got a text from our producer about that hot Hamlin take. Who's Hamlin?
I don't know. You should be looking at it. Quit asking me and ask your fucking machine. You rat bastard. What is it?
What? Why?
Oh, you're the worst. Maybe live wasn't a good idea. I don't think
this is actually.
I don't think you're ready.
This is the best, Jake.
I don't think you understand the caliber of the platform that you're on right now, and I feel like you need to take a step back for a minute, Junior.
That's true.
Tell me what you're talking about.
I don't know. Let's see the news.
Why are you sitting like
Hamlin.
that?
Hamlin went into cardiac arrest
Who is that?
and will not be resumed. I'm waiting on a text back. I see. The little
Wait, but
dot
what
saying
is?
the
But
text is
will you
being
look on your computer?
written.
You have Google open right now. I will drive there right now and murder you in your sleep.
Just give me 5 minutes. Don't we want to talk about Caddyshack or something? No, they're hiding cats in their basement.
No, they're good. It's mostly above board there.
He's a football player that got hit and went into cardiac arrest. You were talking about football.
Oh, during the game. Is he dead?
There was a comment. Yes, there's a comment about. Well, he's not going to be able to play the rest of the season, but she's commenting on
I thought you were saying he was dead.
He's not dead.
Okay, so this is what I'm saying about you not being clear about what you just said. A guy's name 11 times, and then you said he went into cardiac arrest and he will not be able to be resumed. And then
his NFL season.
Okay, but you didn't finish the sentence, and so I thought he was dead.
Yeah, I guess he plays for the Bengals, the Buffalo Bills. Sorry, he plays for the Buffalo Bills and collapsed.
The L.A. Dodgers.
Yeah, and he
took a hit.
Play the rest of the season. But I think what's trying to draw light to is just the insane amount of like there. I used to watch a TV show that like they went into the future for the third season, and football had been like eradicated because of how much damage it was doing to the players' body, like how unsafe it was. So like they're saying he's having substantial improvement here, but I'm pretty sure that pretty much means that there's no improvement at all if the NFL is reporting on it, because the NFL just like historically like, it's like if you think about it, how like the refs play half the game, like half the game is like what you can get past the refs. So like there's tons of like pad grabbing and just like tons of fouls going on, but in order to create good entertainment, they need a rate of play. So basically this is the rate of play of the entire NFL franchise, and they can't really report on this because he doesn't want to lose his job. The NFL doesn't want to lose their position in American, entertainment.
Zeitgeist.
So he's probably doing horribly right now.
You think he's jammed up bad?
I mean, I'm telling you, like, and Dad talks about it all the time. He's like, it doesn't matter how much padding you're wearing. If you just think about the game,
just the force,
like,
and
unless they're in bubble suits, they have to be able to play the game. Like, and there's just no physical way to like damp down being trampled by a 400-pound of muscle 6'9" man. You know what I mean? Like there's no way to like dampen that. And they talk about that a lot.
Wow.
Yeah, he's like, Dad said there's so many friends. Dad used to talk about people who he played football with that would shoot like shotguns in the hallway of the dorms because he had to dorm together, and he was like, we couldn't take the elevators. They were peeing in the elevators like every day. He's like, I just don't understand why they chose, like, why the elevator? There's a bathroom on every floor. Why? What is the elevator thing?
If you've ever been drunk and had to pee in an elevator, I mean, if you've ever been in an elevator and had to pee, and you're hammered, and it's 4 a.m. and you're all by yourself, I can see it.
Like, but I would have at least learned. I would have at least learned of the first time. Like, it'd be like, that was really fucked up what I did.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
Try to wait.
Well, some people are
or
animals.
I'm gonna go pee before I get
People
in the
that go to
elevator.
college are children, living on their own for the first time. They could have the maturity of a 5th grader.
I actually really empathize with that. Yeah, and they got their scholarship through football, so it's not like
they could already be
education or
dinged up
academics
in the
was really
head.
the focus of their MBA career. That's where my dad went to high school, Marybelle Academy.
What does that have to do with
It's
anything?
It's like what the Dead Poets Society was based on.
You're fucking high.
I am a little fucked up. I had I did whiskey and vodka. The vodka made it feel like my brain was having like a you like low blood flow to your hands or something.
Well,
It felt like that.
Why don't you let me wrap this up
brain.
so we can go to bed?
Good call. I got work tomorrow.
Yeah. You got church in the morning.
That's true.
Guys, that's another episode of Jacob V Weekly. High five. Follow us wherever you get your podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Google, whatever. Please subscribe, rate, review, or share. Every interaction helps. We have an Instagram page for the show at Jacob V Weekly where we post exclusive content, clips, and highlights and whatnot. You can contact the show with questions or topics for future discussion at jacobvweekly@gmail.com. You can call the show at 314-626-4208, or you could text us there at any time to contribute your thoughts, feelings, emotions to the show in the future. My cat just knocked my phone off my desk. He hates this show. He's furious right now. Say hi, King. You can find original music by No Antics and Blinded by Stereo on all of your favorite audio platforms. You can also order vinyl from Blinded by Stereo on Bandcamp. No Antics has shirts. Reach out to me if you want a No Antics baseball tee. There are a few left in some choice sizes. Stay tuned on the patreon.com/JacobV for exclusive upcoming content. We got tons of video and audio from the No Antics show last Friday, and we've been kind of working on all kinds of stuff. We're doing this podcast a little bit early for our rotation. We try to get 4 out a month as we're coming back in full speed, and we did that in December. We had 4, and then now we're planning on having at least that many in January, but I'm going to be gone all weekend working on a music video for the No Antics for a song of ours that you can already hear on Spotify or Apple Music or what have you. Jacob V's favorite songs on Spotify is up for January of 2023. That's like 2 years we've been doing that. The companion playlist for the show. If you need jams to listen to, really great. We did it. Caddyshack, Jacob V Weekly. High five. Let's wrap.